Where it stops, no one knows. We're going headed into the unknown. Na, 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 na.
Hello, 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 everybody. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right with you. Oh, crud. Sorry. Getting a message right at the time that the ticker was about to be done. So hello everybody, happy Thursday. Is it Thursday? I think it's Thursday. Hold on, let me take care of this. Okay. All right. I think, yeah, happy Thursday, everybody. Oh goodness gracious. I feel like there's so many cases happening right now. Like my head is like spinning trying to catch up on Daybell from yesterday and today, and I'm just like, let me say hi to everybody in chat. We're going to get started. This is we're going to go over a couple of documents that we didn't get a chance to, that were released over the last couple of days. They're not huge, but I think there's a lot of conversation to be had around them. Gosh, I hate talking. No sound. You don't have no sound? Hold my beer. Replacing hold my beer with hold my Henny. Hi, Phoenix. Hey, Just a Friend. Hi, Grendel. Hi, the Royal We. True Crime Groot. Hi, Lena. Replacing. I just read that one. My Fiend. Oh, my Fiend. Aw. Hi, Dean. What's up, Joni? What's up, TT? Hi, Keiki. Unindicted is in the house. Hi, Jen P. Royal We. What up, Fiend? What's everybody like? Everybody's like in love with Fiend. They're like, Fiend. Oh, Fiend's here. Oh, what up, Fiend? Hammy. Me absolutely rocking out to that song, dancing in my bedroom. If anybody ever wants to listen to the full song, I always have the link in the description of the videos to whose song it is and their YouTube video of the song. Hi, Journey Takes a Trip. What's up, Joni? Hi, Kyra. Donnie. Hi, Christy. What's up, Jamie? Malicious Intent is driving, but hello to everybody. What's up, Ramblin'? Hi, Nancy. Hi, AJ, Caitlin, Snappy. I think we got everybody up here. I think I got everybody there. Oh, Odd Structure. I just saw you as soon as I scrolled away. Hi, Bob sent me over. How did Bob send you over? Bob hasn't been live yet, has he? I was going to send you guys to Bob when I was done. Hi, MB. I don't know how you're keeping up. You're doing all kinds of stuff over there. I'm keeping track of all the hearings and the how you do it. You guys want no fluff. No fluff, just the meat on the bones. That's the channel for you, MB Inc. right here. That's where I go. Puts all the press conferences, all the hearings, all the things that you know you're going to need, or you just want to watch without the commentary. That's where you do it. Hi, Veronica. What's up, Junior? What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Hi, Kathy. Hi, Adrienne. Mia Beto. Oh, from another day. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. He wasn't supposed to. I'm supposed to be live before he's live. The defense is not dragging out anything. Rosie did his very best to attempt to make compromises. Judge Gull was not going for it. Yeah, you know, I find it very, like, the psychology behind how so many people go and listen to the exact same thing and hear something so different, or like interpret it so differently. I don't know. That's the strangest thing to me, like how that works. And then they go and then they're like putting out what they heard, and then the people who listen to just those specific creators are like mad at the other creators if they think something is different. I don't know. It's weird. What's up, Erica? Princess Buttercup. I can't even get into Daybell. It's pretty cut and dry for me. He's a monster. Yeah, but that's also one of the reasons, because I did cover Lori Vallow's trial so much. I know a lot of what's coming, but not everything, because they are, tying him to a couple more extreme. But I listen to the things that I'm like, oh wait, I don't remember this, but I always listen to it on replay. I try not to listen to it live, because I'm like, oh, I remember this stuff, so I can fast forward and skip around. Unlike Karen Reed, which I try to listen to live. Hold on, the husband's calling. Give me a second. What's up? Send a man to the grocery store and your phone will ring like 20 times. If I listen to the whole song, I'll be disappointed that you don't pop up after. Yeah, let's see. Hi, Jamal. Mother of Dragons. What's up, Shaz? Gull versus Bev is a close race. I don't know. I think as of right now, I like Bev better. But Bev in pretrial hearings is very reminiscent of Gull. Judges are very different. Hey, Noe, don't do that. Somebody delete Noe's comment. Don't do that, Noe. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that everybody thinks you are. Be the guy that I think you are. Be a good guy. Don't be a dick. Don't be that guy. You give everybody the ammo to come at you all the time. Don't do it. Okay. Oh, well, thank you, Rabbit. I appreciate it. Just don't be like that. It's not worth it, Kyra. Don't do it. Hi, Alibi. I think she might have said chicken and rice pilaf. BMB, are you lip reading? You better knock that off. I did say rice pilaf. You are right. I did. And I said the kids aren't going to want chicken. So I did say that because he's at the grocery store getting stuff for dinner. T-Dub, I'm headed your way, Wisconsin from Indiana to visit my daughter and new grandbaby for Mother's Day weekend. You're heading all the way out here? Or you're going to Wisconsin? Honored Amber. Everybody has something good. Everybody has something good. And I just try to believe if we focus on the piece of them that's good, that will make them want to be that person, because that's what's focused on. If we focus on the part of people that's bad, because everybody has a bad part, I just feel like then we purposely bring out they're bad. And I just try my best to try to give everybody some grace in the hopes of people give me grace. But you can't just go being a dick. There's just a line. Then once you cross that line, you can't come back from it. So I don't want that for people that I know can be really good people. You can't hear me? Somebody else said that earlier. How come you can't hear me? I think some people can hear me. Yeah, no, that's not going to work. I want to know about your daughter doing gymnastics. What level is she? She's level 5, about to be level 6. Give me 1 second. The damn dog. I don't even know why I started this stream. I got all kinds of shit going on. gosh, between like the husbands, the dogs, the kids, the doxing, it's like can't even get to what I wanted to do. Anyway, well, hello, hi everybody. Again, happy Thursday. Let's try this again, see if it works. So yesterday I did a live on Karen Reed's case, so a lot of the filings that came out, I didn't get to go over. Like I said, they weren't huge. We knew some of them were coming anyway. I was hoping that today we would get the motion to disqualify that Baldwin had talked about in the hearing, but that didn't drop today, so hopefully it'll come tomorrow or by Monday. I sat next to a media gal. There's probably a lot more media there because I think people were trying to figure out what was going to happen with the trial. But I know that a lot of the normal, not all the normal like YouTube, Facebook people were there. Come on, Veronica, get out here. Come be my assistant. I'll take it. I'll take it. Folks have been spoofing channels. That's true. But I am not on YouTube to be able to check and see if that was actually what happened. But anyway, so we're going to talk a little bit today about the things that came out yesterday and just my thoughts on each one. You got a press pass? I was looking into getting a press pass when I was going to go out for trial. I did change my flight to November. So hopefully I'll get to go out for that. I also kept it where I can change the ticket because I ain't no fool. Mama didn't raise no fool. So we read over this the other day, but I'm going to read it again because I think what we're going to talk about has a lot to do with this. Louis is my favorite show. Na, 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 na. Yeah, she's pretty dang good. She's pretty dang good. I'm pretty proud of her, Hammy. Talking about my daughter doing gymnastics. She's been doing it since she was 4. And she does it like 4 days a week now. It's crazy. Okay, let me turn this off. And we'll get into... And my son loves Blue. Bluey tears me up. Such a tearjerker sometimes. All the life lessons with the little bird. Over the little birdie one. We watch a lot of that here. Cold truth. Opening YouTube has become anxiety trigger. Every day it's getting worse with the filings. I know. I'm hesitant sometimes now. And if you notice, like when I started this, I never turned on like subscribers only. Like it was not, subscribers only to me, I always made me kind of feel like, oh, look, they're just trying to make people subscribe to the channel. It always made me kind of feel that way. So I never did it. Now it's like, no, I do it because I'm going to make the trolls, if they want to come in here and be assholes to me, I'm going to make them wait 20 minutes to come in and do it. I didn't foresee that coming this way. So like I said, we already went over this, but this is Gull's ruling on the contempt. Yeah, I didn't know that. It's like a safety mechanism. Yeah, but I never did that before. So now it's like, that's just how it is. That's just how it is. I just live with subscribers only. Let me turn this off. You guys don't know. You want to look at me. We'll read. So this is her ruling on the contempt, and the filing that comes out from Hennessy goes with this. So since it's been a little while since we took a look at this, I wanted to make sure that we have it fresh when we go over what Hennessy has to say. What's up, Nancy? That's why I love this channel. You are such a good person. Oh, thank you, Princess Buttercup. If you worship the BS narrative in Delphi, watch the Reed trial. Extreme corruption. I think they're both crazy. Both cases have their own unique set of what the fuck. If that's a set of something, each one has their own. Yeah, her very non-biased and professional ruling. It should be at 20. I think it's at 20, but I think I forgot to put my link tree in. Let me grab that. Shit, I'm a mess today. Yeah, I got the damn Bluey thing stuck in my head. Thanks a lot, whoever brought that up. All right, let's stick this in here real quick. I don't think I can pin it from StreamYard though, so. Did it go in here? Where the heck did it go? This is so fucking weird. Why is my StreamYard not matching my YouTube? Hi, Louise. See, it's right there in StreamYard. Well, welcome in, everybody. Today's just going to be one of those days, apparently. There it is. All right, let me pin that. And then I think we're good. I think we're good. We're ready to go. You know, there's hidden meaning in some episodes. The writer admitted it. There's a freaking miscarriage. Broke me into. Is there really? I didn't know. I don't think I knew that. Julie Albert is the embodiment of every woman that makes me anxious. Oh, just wait till Jen McCabe gets on the stand. Just wait till Jen McCabe. We rarely speak on the phone. I'm curious what rarely speak on the phone means. If how much does she talk to other people? I mean, she doesn't work, so maybe she 67 times in a few months. Maybe that's not a big deal. All right, so back to Delphi. Get out of the Karen Reed mode and go into the Delphi mode. So this is, like I said, this is an older order. Anybody who comes in, this is not new. This is the older one. We're just reading it so that we have the context about what we're going to read for today. And you guys can't really see it, so let me make it even bigger. So the court, having had this matter under advisement following a hearing conducted on March 18, 2024, and having reviewed the evidence admitted at the hearing, the court did not review any evidence that was offered but not admitted. The arguments of counsel and the briefs and memorandums submitted by counsel now finds that the state proved preponderance of the evidence that defense counsel was sloppy, negligent, and incompetent in their handling of discovery materials. Counsel failed to properly secure evidence and discovery material in this matter. Counsel negligently allowed their discovery outline to be sent to an individual unrelated to this matter, Brandon Woodhouse, who then disseminated that information to the public. Counsel further allowed their discovery materials to be compromised by Westerman, who doesn't even get a first name in here, he just gets Westerman, who in turn provided the information to, and Fortson and Cohen, they're all just last names now. They've been resorted to, like, they don't even get a first name. So compromised by Westerman, who in turn provided the information to Fortson and Cohen, which I believe actually was to Fortson and then Fortson to Cohen, but whatever. Facts don't matter here, right? I mean, that's just crazy. Why do we care about what the truth is? Counsel has described Westerman both as a criminal and a valued consultant and confidant. Well, yeah, I think he was a valued consultant and confidant turned into a person who is an alleged criminal, seeing as how he doesn't actually have any charges, or he doesn't have any convictions. But, you know, oh shoot, sorry. Despite this court's findings, so the court has now found something that literally has nothing to do with the legal sense of anything. Find me a legal basis to find somebody sloppy, negligent, and incompetent. Like, so she's just like, yeah, so this court's findings of sloppiness and negligence and incompetence that the state proved. The state is required to prove that counsel's conduct was willful and intentional beyond a reasonable doubt for the court to find counsel in contempt. As the state has not met that burden, the court declines to find them in contempt of court for violating the protective order issued on February 17th, 2023. Regarding discovery. The state has also alleged that defense counsel violated the gag order issued by the court on December 2nd, 2022. Defense counsel issued a press release on December 1st of 2022. The release contained statements that are potentially violative of the rules of professional conduct. I should have pulled that up. Let me pull that up again. I'll pull that up and we can go through it because it just doesn't. It's just silly. As defense counsel's counsel correctly argues, that's Hennessy. He doesn't even get a name. He doesn't even get a name. He just gets the defense counsel's counsel. She's not even going to say his name because she'll spit nails. Yeah, fuck them facts. We don't need those. That's just silly. Why do we want that? As defense counsel's counsel correctly argues, you won't give him the courtesy of saying his name and that he did something right. I just think it's funny because and don't get me wrong, that contention is both ways. I know it is. Argues in his post-hearing brief the gag order was not yet issued. As such, the court declines to find counsel in contempt of court as no order was in place. To the extent that the press release violated the rules of professional responsibility, the trial court has no jurisdiction to enforce those rules. Then shut the fuck up. How about that? As required by the rules of professional responsibility, people are going to come, they're going to get really mad at me that I am not nice to Gull. Because I'm not a Gull fan. As required by the rules of professional responsibility, the trial court will therefore send a copy of this order and the press release to the Office of Judicial and Attorney Regulation, Executive Director Adrian, blah blah blah, for that office to enforce the rules or determine the ethical misconduct, if there even was any. Remember at the beginning of this whole thing when everybody was like, she doesn't really have any right to be doing what she's doing, and the very, very big pro-Gull supporters were like, yes, she does. She could do whatever she wants. And then we were like, no, she actually needs to send it over and file a complaint against them if she actually thinks they did something unethical, and then they will decide if they did. And people are like, no, she can just do it if she wants to. And then the Supreme Court has to come in and say, no, she can't. And now she's like, fine, if that's what you guys want, I'll send it to them. But now it's already been proven that there is no contempt. Everybody was like, oh yeah, they were absolutely in contempt. I would have ruled them in contempt right then. And it's like, in contempt of what? They weren't in contempt of anything. But everybody seems to forget that, because as long as it's Richard Allen is guilty and that's the narrative you push, none of the other stuff matters. And I'm like, those two things don't go hand in hand here, not for me. So he can be guilty and her not have to be a dick. And dick seems to be my word for the day. I apologize, but that's where I'm at with it. So there was nothing done that was willful. I don't know how many months attorneys on here were saying that. Us laymen that are not attorneys were saying that. They didn't do anything intentionally, and none of it should have happened. They should have had trial back in January. She made the mistake, like holding hearings in Allen County without both sides agreeing. Yeah, that was one of them. At least this last time they both agreed, or nobody objected to it. For me personally, I'm like, hold them in Allen County. There's more room. You got a better chance of getting in. Except for then you have the problem with nobody can actually hear it. Again, denialist, a person who denies the existence, truth, or validity of something despite proof or strong evidence that it is real, true, or valid. Someone who practices denialism. I'm going to name one of my lives that. I think that I pretty much shut that one down from anybody at least asking me that, because I'm like, dude, I don't even really let my mother-in-law babysit my kids. Like nobody really babysits my children. I don't let most people I know around them, much less people I have no idea about whether they're killers or not, because they could be. I'm like, I don't know what my mother-in-law is capable of. I've only known her 20 years. I live in a true crime world. I ain't playing. That's just silly. But you're going to say you're going to name one of your children that the denialists. No, but I will tell you, as a parent, I think we kind of become denialists sometimes when it comes to our children. But I'll own that. Because I'm like, no, he's not that bad. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, well. All right. So I love my kids. They're my favorite people in the whole world. Just an FYI. So I I feel like I can say stuff because I birthed them. It gives me like I have a little bit more of a right, but they are my favorite humans. All right, so let me see. Petition to strike. So here we go. No, they are craftier than that. It was these attorneys need to be held accountable, disbarred for what they did to the families. They need to be held accountable, and they always bring it back. Gull is the definition of gaslight. Gatekeep when all she wants to be is girl boss. Somebody asked in a stream the other day, they were like, do you think that people would feel the same about Gull if she was a man? Or do you think that people only feel that way because she's a woman? And so my opinion, because I do feel this way about Gull, is that I feel this way about Gull, and I don't know, and I don't care if she's a he, she, they, them, any, purple, yellow, anything. That's where I'm at with it. So just to answer the question, in case that person happens to be listening, I think that she's not doing what she needs to do. I think this trial has been extremely derailed, and justice for Abby and Libby is totally off its mark because of Judge Gull. That's where I'm at with it. There's guidelines in the ABA and one other acronym for negligence. There's no way she didn't know she'd not be able to find them in contempt. I don't think she cared. I think she thought nobody would fight her. That's where I'm at with that whole thing. I think she just thought that she would be able to just do it, and she'd do what she wanted, and that's how it would go. And then they fought her on it, and she was like, well, what? You're going to fight me on this? And now she's like, I'm going to prove that I'm the boss. I'm in charge. And I don't think that matters whether she has balls or not. That's just, it's a personality thing. She doesn't like them. I take umbrage at Gull's behavior. Hi, Erin, by the way. It has nothing to do with her fit. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I didn't look for myself, but somebody else told me, and I don't know if you guys might know this, but somebody else had told me that most of her stuff from other cases has been hidden behind a wall, a privacy wall. But like I said, I haven't looked for myself, so I don't know that to be true or not. Hi, Ruckus. Can someone star chart her and the lawyers for compatibility? Yeah, maybe their signs just clash, and that's what it is. I was really honestly of the opinion after the Supreme Court, and I know I probably tell you guys this all the time because I'm like one of those like old people who now just repeats my stories over and over again. I've noticed that in life. We used to give my dad so much shit for doing that. Like we're like, we've heard these stories 1,000 times, Dad. But now I'm like, I feel myself saying things repetitively. But you know, it is what it is. Somebody has to do it, I guess. There's nobody else that can say what I'm thinking. But when the Supreme Court came down and she wasn't removed and they were put back on, I was like, it's going to be okay. It's like, it's really going to be okay. They're not going to want to go back through this mess again. The Supreme Court pretty much laid it out. Like, you can't kick them off if Richard Allen wants them, and she's not leaving. So you guys are just going to need to go in there. We need to get this trial back on track. Like that was the whole thing, like back on track. And I just thought, okay, they're all going to like suck it up because they do not want to be put in a position where they're going to be looked at like this again by the Supreme Court of Indiana. They're going to put their big girl panties on, and everybody's going to go to court, and we're just going to get this done. Like that's what I really just after that day I was like, all right, we're back on track because the Supreme Court said so. Now I just feel like we're not. We're just not back on track. We're probably back on the Librato Scremin track with Baldwin and Rosie now. So maybe we're on some fucking track. I just don't know which one. So Hennessy files this petition to strike the gratuitous and demeaning commentary and or quote unquote findings from the contempt order. Comes now counsel for defense counsel, and in support of this petition alleges and states that on January 29th of 2024, Prosecutor McClelland filed his verified information for contemptuous conduct. Despite Mr. McClelland's failure to follow proper procedure, the court still afforded him spurious allegations. C, defendant's counsel's motion for summary denial of the state's verified information for contemptuous conduct. I believe that might be the one from Osbrook. That took me like 2 days to dissect and try to figure out, because I was like, what the heck? I don't even know. So incorporated herein. The only issue before the court was whether Mr. McClelland could prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the defense counsel acted willfully and intentionally in relation to the purloined discovery materials and accidentally misdirected email and violating a quote-unquote gag order. The court held that Mr. McClelland failed to meet his burden. The court's reference the preponderance of the evidence standard was unnecessary and not applicable to the issues raised. Several defense counsel with over 100 years of combined experience testified and submitted affidavits that the defense counsel in this case conducted themselves properly, typically for counsel representing a citizen accused of crimes, and with due diligence and care. Here, she says that she did not look at anything that was submitted, that was submitted but not admitted as evidence. So essentially what she probably had to take into consideration would have been the 3 attorneys that testified on the stand. Hey, Criminal Network, what's up? So, I mean, I do wish, this was one of the things I had wished that when we were talking about the hearing was like, it would have been better if like when Holman or Mullen or any of those guys were on the stand, because now I don't remember what order they were on there, but when one of the investigators was on the stand, what if like they'd asked them if they'd ever misdirected an email? Because I think that, or a text message, or sent anything electronically accidentally to the wrong person. I'd be surprised if they hadn't. I think at this point we've all accidentally said something via electronics that we didn't actually mean to send to that particular person. I can tell you, I accidentally don't send text messages a lot. Like I type them all out. I type it all out, and then I apparently don't hit the send button. So like I go back in later to like go text somebody something else, and then I find that those words are just like still sitting there, and I'm like, oh shit, I never hit send. Yeah, so I'm like more of an accidental non-sender. Oh, I send Delphi you too. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm like, oopsie daisy. I don't know that. I don't think they did. I don't think sending the email, Ruckus, I don't think it was intentional. I don't, especially when they proved in court that it was actually addressed to Brad. I think that was the big thing there. And the gag order, there was no gag order, so I think we all pretty much know that one. So there's nothing intentional about that because there wasn't even a gag order yet. But Miku's headphones, I had worse judges on both criminal and civil cases on the hostility score. On some things, the defense leaves themselves open. Others, it looks like personal. So that's what I was going to say when we were talking about earlier with like Judge Bev from Karen Reed's case versus like Judge Gull. If you take just like the pretrial hearings, they're very, very similar, but the judge is best friends with the jury. Like that, like that's how I've always seen it in every case I've ever watched. The judge is always, because it's like, you know, they're fulfilling their responsibilities and they're taking their time, and so they're always like very, very nice to them. And then the jury really likes the judge. And so whatever the judge kind of deems during the hearing, like if you can start to tell that there's any animosity to either side, like if you pick up on it, then you kind of start to believe the judge. And that's always more of the concern, because I think during trial, they're very, very different than they are in like the pretrial motions, which I mean, is expected. There's no jury there. What's up, Francis? Make those Frank shirts yet? I was looking to figure out what we should do. If we should do a bunch of Frank shirts or what we should do. Bro, that's my life. I mean, I'm kind of impressed. That's a lot of blocking. I've deleted messages instead of sending them. I sent a text message to my dad, but meant to send it to my husband. As I said, my dad was driving me crazy. Remember back in the day, I don't know if they do it anymore, but back in the day, they used to have those websites that are like, You could go through and like read all the shit. I think most of it's like AI generated now, if it is out there, because it's not nearly as real. But it used to be where you could upload your own screenshots of the shit that you said wrong. Do you remember those? It'd be like, oh, I accidentally sent this to my, like the husband's like talking to the wife about like getting kinky that night or something. They actually send it to like their son. Or, you know, those. Now I think they're just like they're all fake. But they used to have the ones where you could just upload your own. Uh-oh, I hear somebody. I hear somebody. What's up?
I'm just getting a drink.
Oh, okay. Damn you, autocorrect. Is that the one that you used to be able to actually upload to, or is that the one that's now? Do you want me to help you? Do you need help?
Want to look at what I'm doing?
Hold on, you guys. You don't need my help?
I got it.
Okay.
Know what I was doing?
No, I don't know what you're doing. I have no idea what you're doing.
I grabbed the key.
You grabbed the tea? Okay.
It's all the way up.
Oh, man, you're getting big.
You know how I got it?
Uh-huh.
I'm actually not that big.
Uh-huh.
I actually stood it on the fridge.
Oh. You're like Spider-Man?
Yeah, you know how like the fridge has a little step, Mama?
Uh-huh.
I use that.
Oh, okay. He thought he needed help, but then he didn't, because he's all grown up now, and he just climbs up. He used this. I know, I heard. I'm telling them what you told me. Okay, so the next one is, the court has no experience in representing a citizen accused of committing a crime. The court has no experience in representing a citizen accused of committing a crime. Never chatting on here, and he has me. Hi, Amy, by the way. Ruckus, apparently you have most of the chat blocked. So they want me to highlight your comments so everybody can participate. Everybody can participate in the conversation. No, he's only 7. The other one is doing driver's ed right now. I hate it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to let you like out on your own to. Oh, here, hold on. You guys want? That's what Ruckus said. So the chat can participate in a Ruckus conversation. Okay, so the court's commentary and findings of sloppiness, negligence, and incompetence are outside the issues. Outside the issues, not supported by evidence, gratuitous and unnecessary, demeaning, and have no legitimate purpose in relation to the court's order. There's no way to disagree with that. There's no way to say that that's not. There's no reason for her to put any of that in here. It was on purpose to say, look, I still don't like what you did, and I still think that you were incompetent and negligent and all of these things, and I'm going to make sure that the world knows that I think that. It wasn't necessary. And this is the type of thing that when people get frustrated, such as myself, where I do feel like she's biased, her orders are very simple when it comes to that she's denied without a hearing, or even the ones like where people are requesting like cameras in the courtroom, denied the same, over and over again. It's all very much, but no, this one it's like she has to purposely like just get a dig in. I struggle with that, and this is where I'm at with her, is I don't know why she can't put her big girl panties on, just go in there and let's get the thing done. The Office of Judicial and Attorney Regulation provides support staff to the Indiana Disciplinary Commission, Judicial Qualifications Commission, and the Judicial Nominations Commission. The Disciplinary Commission investigates and prosecutes alleged attorney misconduct. Adrian Meering is the executive director of the Disciplinary Commission as well as the Office of Judicial and Attorney Regulation. This is just saying, hey, you should send it to the right place because this office provides support staff. That's what they do to the Disciplinary Commission. So you actually want to send it to the Disciplinary Commission. I think this was a little dig back at her, but it wasn't, at least, it wasn't you know, you're an idiot for not knowing things. Gull's job is to block the case from being done. You know, Steven, I'm going to tell you right now, I typically would argue this point. But I'm so frustrated with this case right now that I'm like, I don't even know if you're wrong anymore. I put so much effort into arguing against that before. And now I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I don't even know. Maybe you're right. I don't know what the whole point of this is. But we're going to talk a little bit about the reason that everything kind of went the way that it did on this last hearing, my opinions of why everything went the way that it did. So in ruling on most if the defense's pleadings, the court simply writes denied without a hearing. The lack of such brevity with the contempt order illustrates the gratuitous nature of the demeaning comments because she doesn't like them. The comments and or findings referenced herein is another exhibition of the court's bias against, disdain for, and animus towards the defense counsel. It is additional cause for recusal. Like saying, hey, we're asking you, you probably need to go away. You probably can't handle this case because you can't look at them and say that you're not biased towards them. And you can't just go throwing things around all willy-nilly that don't have any legal standing in these court orders. Not to mention, like, the slander and defamation that goes along with it. And those aren't the words I want to use because she technically can't be held with that because you can't hold it against somebody in this. And that's why he's filing the way he is. And I learned this from Travis, so thank you. But the reason he's filing it, because it is, I mean, it's gonna hurt them. Baldwin may be a little older and maybe closer to retirement, but I really struggle with this because of Rosie, because she just puts it out there like that and lumps them into the same exact category. And I think it's really unfair that she does that, because even if you think that Baldwin was negligent because he left the door unlocked, even though many defense attorneys came forward and said that's what they do, that's their war room, prosecutors wouldn't understand, that's not, that's how it works. That wasn't Rosie's office. Rosie's not the one who accidentally sent an email to Brandon Woodhouse. He just happens to be the one who was supposed to receive the email. So I really hate that and I get why she does it, and this isn't against her at all. I get why she does it. They're a team. Rosie, at the very beginning of this, agreed to having their main headquarters be out of Baldwin's office in Franklin. So then, therefore, it becomes more of his responsibility. But I think I have such a hardship with that. And she does not like Rosie. I don't think she likes either one, but she definitely doesn't like Rosie. I like Rosie because you can tell that he's very quick. He sees things that are happening and he's doing what he can. And I think I really started to feel this way after the in-chambers hearing, that he's really trying to make sure everything he says is put on the record. He wants to make sure, he doesn't want to just walk away and put his head down and his tail between his legs and walk away. He wants to make sure, he's like, you're going to make me leave. Well, I'm still going to say the things that I've got to say. Hey, T. Hi, Andrew. I mean, also someone at the last hearing confirmed that Rosie is hot in person. I don't know. He's not my type, but I do just appreciate that he's not just, tucking and running. That's where I'm at. He has to put everything on the record so that they can continue to, fight the fight that they're trying to fight. Yeah, they are private attorneys normally that run a business based on reputation. Yeah, so that's got to be hard for them. He seems like he would be a very good attorney. Hey, Mace Mama, I can't watch it, but I'm certainly jumping in listening while fixing supper. The Delphi Obsessors, that's legit. Hey, that guy's been a lawyer for like 2 minutes. I don't know. But apparently so was Diener, so I guess they're fine with it. But it's like, no wonder we see such craziness happening out of Carroll County. That's their judge. Yeah, she resorted to name calling in an official document, but she needed to get it out there. And I think that for me, like my frustrations are really high with her at this point because, and I tell you guys most of the time, like when we read through the motions from either from Nick or from the defense, I'm like, this is what they do. Like this is what they do. Like this is just how they function. They go back and forth and they say these certain things, and they, you know, maybe not the liar comment or, you know, those kinds of things, but in general, like the motions are pretty much. But I don't think I've ever just seen a judge just be so openly hateful to one side. I mean, I've seen judges be hateful, but they're typically just hateful people, and they're hateful to both. And you're just like, ew, this is kind of cringe. But she just, I mean, it's just apparent she just doesn't like them. Hi, CJ. Imagine seeing this go down when you need an attorney. Would you call Andy or Brad if you only read what this judge has said about them? It's like a very public shit Yelp review. Yeah, I just think it's uncalled for. Don't forget that Gull came up with this bizarre notion that it was an ethical violation that Rosie filed a notice of claim regarding prison conditions. That disappeared when her counsel came in. You know what? That is a great point. I actually forgot about that one. Because she was pissed that he was filing he was filing on behalf of his client about Westville. And then ultimately he gets moved from Westville. Still very curious on why the Attorney General or the IDOC made the decision middle of the night to just move him out, and that was it. You can think he's hot. I'm fine with that. She should have just said, he didn't prove it. He didn't, you know, legally, here's the requirements. He didn't reach them. That's it. Bottom line, done. Move on. But she had to like get the last dig in there. Hi, Sleuthy. Super chat? The super chat. Ah, refrigerator repair fund. I climbed in. Yeah, he's just climbing all over it. It's a good thing we have two. Just does what he wants. Hold on, I think I missed some comments now because I had to go to the other page. I'm waiting to hear the latest transcript since people are saying NM did not object to the continuance, as she says in that order. I've requested it. We'll see what happens. I haven't heard anything back yet. It just, Deb, what are you doing yelling at me? What are you doing yelling with your caps on? Who are we praying for Dan or for Dean? Hold on, I missed what's going on with Dean. Let me scroll up. She's acting better now, but they said it's going to be another 3 to 4 hours just to be seen. Who are we talking about, Dean? Who do we need to say a little prayer circle? I got a call at work from my wife saying, help me. She was in the shower and passed out. When I got there, she was confused and tired. Oh, no. Oh, no, Dean. I hope she's okay. Is she seeming any better now, like while she's waiting for the docs? Your kids are freaking fridge climbers. Yeah, they should do what they want. Sadly, I'm preparing for Rick to be found guilty. Well, here's the thing, Teresa, is we've seen so many twists and turns. This is just one avenue, and we're going to go down a whole different path by the time we even get there. Anyone ever read Patterson's The Beach House? I'd love to get his dirty players in a CCTV trial. I don't think I've ever read that. Heavy Metal Rehab, where the hell you been? You're so late. Yeah, they are. Hey, Brandola girl, has anyone checked on Allie with Unsolved Crimes Uncovered lately? She's been quiet. No, but I was going to send her an email, and I hope that she's doing okay. They had said a couple days prior that they weren't going, that they had a prior obligation, so they weren't going to be at the hearing. So I don't think there's anything nefarious about it. I mean, Bob couldn't make it either. So she's starting to feel better, so we left and trying to see Doc in the AM. Okay, well, you got to be very careful. She's got a concussion. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say a prayer, Dean. She's got to be very careful with that. Where's Allie? She's got my money. I'd sing the song, but I don't want to call Allie names. No, we're going over stuff from yesterday. Okay, so now, I mean, essentially, she's the one who's going to rule on whether she's going to follow up with this and actually remove anything, which I don't think she will. And who knows? You know what? Maybe she even will, because she'll be like, it doesn't matter. It's already out there. I already made my point. You know, people have seen it. That's what I was saying when when we're talking about like the motions from like the prosecution and the defense. I typically will say like their remarks are they're just very common. I think, and from everything I've ever read in cases, and to me they're common. I just don't see how this judge is like this. How the judge is just putting in little snide remarks. Yeah, adjusted fate. I didn't want to say it because I'm like, it's Allie, and I don't think that way. Bitch better have my money. To me, it doesn't make sense. They have Alan's DNA. No hits on prior crimes. When does a 40-something-year-old just say, hey, gonna go kill some teens today? Unless he had some type of break. Maybe he had, I don't know. Maybe he did have some type of mental breakdown and just, or maybe he has some history. He's just never been caught. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around that when it comes to, he just one day wakes up mid-40s and just goes, okay, today's the day. And then people have tried to compare him to a couple other like quote unquote serial killers. But those guys actually started when they were younger. They just weren't caught until they were older. Hey, Carrie, imagine driving through Indiana and getting falsely arrested, and you end up in their system and now have to deal with Gull, lying officers, etc. That's enough to keep me from going through Indiana. That's what Sleuthy always tells me. She's like, I'm not going to Indiana. Bye, Ruckus. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Solar Chef Steph says, Dean, I don't usually chat here, but heard T mention your wife passing out. This kind of stuff's very near and dear to my heart. Husband had a condition. Please know that I'm lifting her up. Hi, Elena. Maybe he did, but the way things have gone here is not how we treat Americans who have not been proven guilty or convicted. I couldn't agree with you more. I just think that the whole thing is kind of a clusterfuck at this point. Like I said, the whole beginning of this, I was telling you guys, like, I had faith after Supreme Court that everybody was going to come in and they were just going to get her done. And now I just second guess that. That's the transcript. I don't need that one. Okay, so then we have the motion that comes through. Oh, Dean, thank you. You don't need to pay me for prayers. You need to do that. But yes, everybody will. Anybody who prays, or if you don't pray and it's not what you do, just keep her in your thoughts. So we have this hearing, and we've already gone over the notes from the hearing. Obviously, we don't have a transcript yet. Hopefully, we will end up with one, but we don't have it yet. But we did hear that during. Maybe I should play the news clip again, because even the news media, and to say that they're not biased would be kind of just silly, but they're probably the most unbiased out of, like, when we talk about like the YouTubers or the social media people that have gone there, more are pro Richard Allen or pro guilty, pro innocent. So, but even the media was like, nobody said they weren't ready. Everybody was like, they were ready to go. Everybody was ready, defense and prosecution, to have trial starting on May 13th. The issue wasn't that they weren't ready to go. The issue was the amount of time allotted to them. And because she wouldn't break it up into, and not that I think that she should, like, you have 5 days, you have 5 days kind of thing. I think that my biggest issue with the conversation is Nick not knowing how long it's going to take to present his case, like not having any idea. Like, he should be like, you know what, Judge, they're right. I am probably going to take like a full 2 weeks, and they'll probably get a day. You know, even if you just estimate, like when it comes to scheduling, the judge is going to ask them that day, what do you got on the books for, or what do you got on the schedule for tomorrow? How long is it going to take you? He should have some idea of how long his case is going to take to present. It's not new. Well, you know what? I'm going to take that back. If discovery is really the way that it is, and he says he has to look through it the same way, maybe he doesn't have a fucking clue. Maybe he's like, I can't find shit either. I have no idea how long anything is going to take. Because everything's a disaster, and I have no idea where anything is. But he should know exactly how long his case is going to take to present to the jury. And he should be able to tell her. So this is where, like, the opposition, as I call them, is like, well, the defense isn't ready, and this is why they're requesting, you know, for they got rid of the speedy trial. Well, no, that's not why. And I hope that I hope to be able to educate people on the fact that that is not why. They were all there. They were all ready to go. There just wasn't enough time, and Nick couldn't say, hey, this is how much time I'm going to take. And the judge isn't willing to say, you only have this amount of time and you only have this amount of time. But if you think about it, we were going to go from May 13th until May 31st, 6 days a week, right? You know what? I should pull the calendar up. Let's pull a calendar up and let's count it. And she did have it scheduled, FYI, for Memorial Weekend. Remember we had talked about that at one point? Let's pull the calendar up. So we were going to have 3 days of jury selection, and then we were going to have the jury sworn in and travel day. Opening statements were scheduled for the 17th. So let's just go with that. So the first 4 days, gone. We'll say the first 4 days and the next one's gone. But we're going to do Saturdays here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 actual days of trial. Okay? If we had just done it this way. Now let's go. We don't know if she's going to still hold on to the whole Saturday thing. So we'll count both. So now she's going to start October 14th. We'll get rid of the first 4 days again. We'll count it with and without. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 days if she does Saturdays still. If she doesn't do Saturdays still, then we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing 21 days. So they literally added 7 days to the trial. 7 actual trial days. So, I don't know. Unless she does Saturdays, then we're getting an additional 11 days. So there's the reason that she denied them having... Okay, thank you, Sleuthy. I'll look at that in just a second. The reason that she denies giving an extension for the May trial is because she's already sent out the jury questionnaires and that nobody had argued about the amount of time it was going to take to argue this case. She has a legal standing with that she can't just go all willy-nilly. And I was telling you guys earlier, like, the judges are like best friends with the jury. They don't normally like to go pissing off the jury. That's the way they do it. Pull the cases, skip the part about plaintiff alleges, and go to part where court describes the role of Walla and other defendants. That is key. Therapist monitor screen. Lolly has done 8 days, and we still don't know who, how, or why John O'Keefe died. Haven't even talked about it. No, we just know that Karen loved him, and they found him in the snow. We let jury know before. If they cannot sit for more than 2 weeks, they are excused. What happens if that's still not enough time? Then what? I don't think they're going to have a choice. So I think they're almost over scheduling it or over requesting it. So like he's like, I want 15 days. Rosie says, I want 15 days to be able to present the defense case. Like, can you guarantee me 15 days? But she can't. She won't guarantee him anything. Imagine being friends with Gull. It literally makes no sense to me, and I don't understand how it could remotely be constitutional in a criminal court. So essentially, Rosie was like, no, we're ready to go. We want to do it on the 13th. We're ready to start. We just want to make sure that there's enough time to present our case. Nick doesn't know how long it's going to take him. So we're kind of screwed. Like, we don't really have much other choice unless you can schedule us a time very soon that you can essentially guarantee us our 15 days. Now, here's the problem with this thing is that they haven't actually had the hearings on any of the evidence that she's going to allow in. And so they don't even actually know if they're going to need the 15 days because they don't know what she's going to allow them to bring in. Hi, Carla. No, she should have originally scheduled it for longer. And then if she hadn't, what she should have done was have some pretrial hearings where they could have discussed these types of things. And people were like, can't believe like Rosie would say to her, like, you don't know anything about this case. Like, that's kind of, that's overstepping, and he should have been held in contempt right there. But it's like, essentially, it's true. The judge isn't supposed to know all the things about the case. They're supposed to be the finder of law during the trial. But they do have to be the finder of law and finder of fact before they get to the trial. And you can only do that if you have hearings. So she doesn't know enough about the case. It's not like she doesn't know enough about the case to be able to decide how long the trial should be. So I think that the hearings, I hope that the hearings on the 21st through the 23rd are productive. I wish I could go for those. I'd almost rather be there for those 3 days than at trial, if I'm being honest with you. So the other thing that happens is that Nick, towards the end of the day, apparently says something along the lines of he has like some very incriminating evidence that he has put in this motion that he had submitted the night before, but he didn't know how to put the exhibits and file them under seal, so he brought them with. And but the next day we get to find out what his motion was. We won't get to see the exhibits once again because they're filed under seal, but we get to find out what the motion is. So let me go to that one. No, let me go here first. This one's easier and shorter because the other one I think we're going to have to talk a little bit about. So this is after the hearing. This is her order based on everything that was presented to her at the hearing. Yeah, he said with due respect, so not contempt. Well, he said respectfully afterward. He was like, you don't know anything about this case, respectfully. So this is her order after the hearing. The defendant appears in person and with counsel, attorneys Brad Rosie, Andrew Baldwin, and Jennifer Auger. And there was the order that she put in about Jennifer Auger too. State appears, so I don't know why she was acting like she didn't know she was going to be there. She apparently did, but I don't know. That's weird too. State appears by prosecuting attorney Nicholas McClellan and deputy prosecuting attorneys James Luttrell and Stacey Diener. Hearing held on defendant's motion. We have not heard anything from James Luttrell. I don't know if he's just like supposed to sit there and be like a pretty face. He's at these hearings now and we don't know anything about him. Like, he doesn't talk ever. We've heard Diener more, and Carla as Diener is amazing. Yeah, she refuses to have any hearings to know anything. I know. Hi, Scott. The hearing held on defendant's motion to pretrial hearing filed April 30th. Defense counsel report to the court that the scheduled trial dates of May 13th, 31st, 2024 are inadequate for trial. Defendant waives his speedy trial and moves for a continuance. The state objects as they are ready for trial, but leaves it to the court's discretion. This was weird to me because I had a lot of notes sent to me. And I'd listened even to people who were there that don't necessarily agree with my feelings. Nobody said that. Not one person said that Nick objected to this. I did not hear that from anybody who was there. Did you guys hear that from anybody who was there? I'm like, where did this come from? Is this another copy paste? Because remember in the hearing, oh God, was it October? Was it the 31st when they went in there? Or was it the 8th? I think it was the 31st when she was like, Nick, do you have anything to say? And he was like, well, I don't think they should be the attorneys, but I'll leave it up to the court's discretion. Remember, like, she asked him that question. No, it was back in October. I'm almost positive it was like the 31st. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was behind. Maybe it was in chambers. It was one of the October hearings though, where she like asked Nick his opinion, and we were like, what? Yeah, no one said he objected. But it was one of those. She asked him like, what does he think? And he was like, I don't think they should be, but I'll leave it up to you. And then I remember reading it, and all of us were like, what? Why is she even asking him? It has nothing to do with him. And I was like, this is copy and paste, because nobody said he objected. Catastrophe says it was the 31st. That's my memory too. She wanted to put it all in the defense. So that's one of the reasons I did ask for the transcripts, because I'm like, wait a minute, what? Nobody said he objected. It seemed, and even every news channel that I watched that was in there and covered it that night, none of them said that. They all said both sides were essentially ready to go. So it was going to leave it to the court's discretion. So the defense motion was granted. The jury trial ordered continued and reset to October 14th through November 15th. Defendant's motion to compel and request for sanctions, and the defendant's two pending motions to suppress, the state's motion in limine and the state's motion for ruling on admissibility, are all set for hearings on May 21st through May 23rd at 9 a.m. in the Carroll Circuit Court. Defendant's third and fourth requests for Frank's hearing will be ruled upon and not set for a hearing unless necessary. So we should expect a ruling on the third and fourth Franks, and I would not expect a hearing because I don't think she's going to find it necessary. He did not object. Yeah, you were there. He did not object. After Rosie spoke, she looked at Nick and said, do you have anything? Did he respond? Did he respond like, I'll leave it up to you? And then she just says he objected? Tomorrow I'm telling my boss you don't know anything about running this place, respectfully. I don't think that's going to go over very well. We just in the last few moments got confirmation that the public funds raised have been released to Hennessy, and it was a battle. Really? Well, thank you for updating us. Hi, Julie. I wouldn't be surprised, because it's the same company that Karen Reed used, and she raised almost like a quarter of $250,000. I have no doubt that the reason the motion to disqualify the judge hasn't been officially filed is that they're going to supplement with info from the transcript of this hearing. That's my thought, is that we're going to end up with more than 24 pages. Hi, Charmaine. He responded with, I am streamlined and ready to go, but still could not give an answer on how long he thought it was going to take for him to present his case. He only said he didn't know how long he would need and blah, blah, blah. So never an actual objection. Well, okay. So if he doesn't actually say that, then can she just go around just saying he says things all willy-nilly? Is that okay? And you can just make up shit that was said in court that's not true? I thought that Nick objected to splitting the time. I just think that I know he said he didn't want to do that. I don't know if he actually filed an objection. Like, did he actually say objection to anything? Hold on. Okay. All right, I took care of it. Don't worry about it. So I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully we'll see. We'll get to see what was actually said and if there was actually an objection. I don't remember him objecting, but a few times I couldn't hear him. That's the other problem from my understanding about this courtroom in particular. Maybe we could let the state of Indiana know we won't be traveling to or through Indiana. So much corruption with the RA trial. Lack of transparency is frightening. Maybe a push to be televised. I don't think she's not giving into the televised. The only thing is, if we have, so Baldwin tells her, hey, I have 24-page motion for to disqualify you, motion for you to recuse yourself, essentially, and she says, I'll read it when it comes through. Like, I'll read it when you file it. Like, I don't really need you to hand me a copy. I'm good. But it hasn't been filed yet, so we'll have to wait and see. So Angel Ray, I have heard that she is related. Somebody told me she was a sister-in-law, but it looks more like she's like a stepmom. But I'm not 100% sure, so I don't really want to put too much out there because I don't really know. I don't really know, but I have heard that she is, but I have not proven that myself. I mean, your analysis of being gaslit every time. It's like when the prosecution filings is when I'm really like, wait, did I just really read what I think I read? If we get in reverse the no camera thing, yes. Everybody will refile it again. Phoenix says stepmom. That's what I thought too. As I was like, I don't know. Is Miranda Wrights in here? There she is. I'm hitting my bong every time T says willy-nilly. It's working out well. Oh man, it's gonna be a long night for you because all this shit is also willy-nilly. It's just like throw it all. It's like spaghetti. Just throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. And then Nick's like, shit, that's stuck. Holy crap! I can't believe it. Awkward. Dean, I have to run quick. Hopefully you guys will still be on in a few minutes. Okay, no worries. Go take care of your wife. It's hard to split time. Federal judges do it with a chess clock. Not kidding. It's how you count the cross-exam time. That's what they do in civil suits a lot of the time, too. In civil trials, right? Is they actually have a certain amount of time. Why is the media not using their lawyers to fight for cameras like Idaho 4? Well, I've said that all along. The Indiana Media Coalition did finally write something in, and they denied it. They'd have to request a hearing, and we know how she feels about that. So I don't think that she's probably even going to give them a hearing. She's just going to deny it again. Who knows? Like I'm telling you guys right now, what you think you see right now as this trial is not what it's going to end up being. Things are going to be different. Whether it's a different judge, whether it's a different date, whether it's a different defense, not team, but different defense theory. It's not going to be what we see right now. There is so many different avenues that this could go. We may be back at the Supreme Court. We may be watching that again. At least they have a camera. Nick objected with his eyes. He's like, this is shibby. And now I need to get the hookah. Gull doesn't want her disdain and biased behavior recorded. Well, we'll still read it in her voice. Don't worry. I enjoyed watching the Supreme Court. It was intense. I thought it was really good. It was actually way better than I thought it was going to be. So we're waiting on Baldwin to come out and say, hey, these are all the reasons. And if it's a Baldwin motion, it worries me just because he is so wordy. He writes a lot of words sometimes, and I'm like, there's a lot of words. So like 24 pages, I'm like, it's Baldwin, not really surprised. But I don't know. I'm hoping that he actually puts some very clear. He's probably got some things that are being advised, like make sure this is in there, make sure this is in there, because if these things are denied, then this is what we're going to use to go back to the Supreme Court. I thought that they would have to do what's called an interlocutory appeal first. So, which is essentially a judge makes a ruling during the case, and the attorneys want to take it to the appellate court, but it's not about the final decision of the case. It's about a ruling that was made on the case. So they do like an interlocutory appeal. They have to request it through her first anyway. She'd have to approve it for it to even get there. If she denies it, which is what I figured would happen, I thought that would be a requirement, but I asked Michael Osbrook about it, and he said no. They can just go straight back to filing another original action based on how she's acting and what she's putting in her findings that have no legal basis. So then we have Nick, who talks about, like, I have this, I have some incriminating evidence that I didn't know how to file under seal. So the next day we get the motion. Hold on. Message. Hold, please. All right, let me close this so I don't keep getting dings, because then I feel like I need to respond. Yeah, I'm thinking that we might see another original action, and we might be back at the Supreme Court. But here we go. So here's Nick. So then his motion that he did file does end up coming out, and so it comes down to the state of Indiana by prosecuting attorney Nicholas C. McClelland, and hereby requests a pretrial ruling as to the admissibility of certain communications made by Richard Allen to a psychologist. In support of this request, the state submits the following: that Richard Allen has access to mental health services at the Indiana Department of Corrections, where he has been housed for safekeeping pursuant to the court order. That mental health personnel employed by Centurion Health provide psychologists and or counselors to whom Richard Allen has made statements. That in particular, a Dr. Monica H. Walla, a psychologist licensed to practice in the state of Indiana, has documented statements of Richard Allen, which the state believes fall within an exception to confidentiality pursuant to Indiana Code 2533-117. Indiana Code, privileged communications between psychologists and clients, states in part, a psychologist licensed under this article may not disclose any information acquired from persons with whom the psychologist has dealt in a professional capacity, except under the following circumstances. 1. Trials for homicide, when the disclosure relates directly to the fact or immediate circumstances of said homicide. The state intends to offer into evidence the testimony of Dr. Monica Walla as documented in her reports entitled Department of Corrections Behavioral Health Suicide Observation. That the state seeks this ruling for the sole purpose of expediting the presentation of evidence during trial, to put the defendant on notice as to the evidentiary exception, and to obtain a pretrial ruling on admissibility. Wherefore, the state requests the court provide a ruling as to the admissibility of Richard Allen's statements through testimony of Dr. Walla testimony, per the exception cited here. Let me pull this back up. I think I closed it. Okay. So a psychologist licensed under this article may not disclose any information acquired from persons with whom the psychologist has dealt in a professional capacity, except under the following circumstances. 1. Trials for homicide, when the disclosure relates directly to the fact or immediate circumstances of said homicide. So this is the exception that he's wanting to use. Let me see what you guys are saying over here. Spill the beans on Walla. I don't know if I have a lot of beans, but So let's talk about that. So Rex says, is this the doctor lady people are saying is or was a member of all the Delphi Facebook groups? In my opinion, yes. There seems to be some controversy about this. Last I knew, her Facebook was already taken down. But there is only one doctor that I can find. One doctor that I can find that is licensed in Indiana and in the state of Illinois, and not an opinion, it's definitely a yes. I'm just telling you, it's my opinion. My opinion is that it is her. It is the same one. There is not another one that is in the state of Indiana that shows up on anything. She is old enough to have been a psychologist for a long time. I did get a couple of messages from people who think it is not her. So I spent my afternoon doing my most due diligence to try to figure out what it is, or if it is her or not. I have a couple phone calls out. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit of irony here. You guys know that I'm born in Illinois, right? I've told you guys this. I was born in Illinois. I was raised up until I was 10 years old in Indiana. I still have a lot of people that I communicate with, not like frequently, not like 67 times in 6 months, but that I do communicate with. And ironically, before the Facebook page was shut down, we do have some mutual friends along the way. So I will verify 100%, not a 99.9, because right now I'm a 99.9 that it is. But I will verify that it is 100% her. And I will let you guys know as soon as I am at the 100% where there's no more question. Because, like I said, we do have some mutual peoples in our lives. Now, the other part of that is, whether it's her or not, and I don't think I need to tell you guys this, in no way, shape, or form do I condone harassing, messaging, anything to do with her on a personal level. She does have kids. Like, we don't need to go into, putting out her address, anything. We don't need to do anything like that. And like I said, I know I don't need to tell you guys that, but I just want to say it for the public. In absolutely no way at all do I condone anybody harassing this woman. If she is the right one, like I said, my opinion is that she is. The people that need to know, and the people that need to take care of it will take care of it. And it's going to be up to them and the judge, leave that for what you want, whether they allow her testimony in, and if they find that her being in Facebook groups for multiple years, interacting, watching YouTube channels, anything along those lines, would make it so that her opinion wouldn't come into play. That's not our call. We don't get to make the decision. We can just have an opinion. So I'm just saying, once again, what we talk about on YouTube is just for YouTube. We don't need to don't go messaging her. Don't go trying to find her phone number. Like I said, I know I don't need to tell you. I just want to make sure that everybody and anybody who listens to this knows how I feel about that. Because whether it's her or not, nobody needs that. What will be, will be. They will handle it the way that they need to handle it. It will, I'm just like, it will get handled on the legal side. Yeah, they're putting out the names of people and here, and like, this is what happens. But like I said, I'm gonna go with that. I think it's her, but I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm going to do my due diligence, and I'm going to completely verify 100%. I just want to tell you all the truth. I got the email, text, and Discord chats Prof sent me before you all kicked him out. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a Discord. I mean, I technically do, but it's like me and like 4 of the admins. I'm gonna track it down like I had to track down the motorcycle. Oh God, that fucking motorcycle. And the people who put out the stuff with the motorcycle never bothered to say, "Oh yeah, by the way, we were wrong about that motorcycle. It's not the right one." But I will say, like, I had a friend of mine when I was covering the Watts case who was working inside of a prison. And so she was in a Delphi chat kind of trying to explain, like, it's not just cut and dry on what you can and what you can't say, like whether her testimony would or should come in, even just ethically. And then if it is her, right, that's what I'm saying, Chris. Yeah, question about any ethical rule about this, or is it just frowned upon? That from, like I was saying, like the person who I was talking to about it in one of the Delphi chats, she said that it would, if she was in the Facebook groups, it could be taken as an, it could be filed as like an ethical complaint, and then they would decide. I don't know if that would depend on what was said and what was not. I know, and I'm not looking to get anybody, I'm not looking to get anybody fired or anything like that. I just think that we got to do, they'll deal with it. They'll deal with it the way that we would, or the way that they should. How coincidental the Newton and Inquisitor knew about the mental health confessions before we all did. Well, it's a great point. Now that I don't know. I would not be the one to be able to prove or disprove that this person would be that person. So I don't want to put that out there unless I have more to go on. Is it possible? Yes. She did recommend my channel, but she also recommended Greeno. So, and Delphi After Dark for the drama. She recommended Gray Hughes. I was like, she's all over the board. Who else did she recommend? Defense Diaries. I was like, she definitely has a plethora of what she likes to watch. It's an ethical violation. It does not matter if she commented in the groups or not. You are correct that it will get taken care of by the proper licensing board. Right. That's why I'm like, we don't need to worry about it. Yeah, I think that was the ones that she did. But I was just like, she's got a lot of varying taste. And then I was like, hey, what am I thinking? Like, I've watched all those people at one point or another. So she is a true crime fan. She was in other true crime groups as well, not just Delphi. So I will say that also. Right. Neither am I. Thank God we aren't, Phoenix. I don't know what would happen. I don't know what would happen if we were. I don't understand what the purpose is to get her removed. I think that might be to this Teresa. Her scrubbing clean should be a sign that she has talked about things or said things that she shouldn't have. I will disagree. I will disagree with that. Simply because I know how Facebook and YouTube streets can get. Not that they always are, and not that we are, but I know how they can be. And at some point, you're just like, let's think about the fact that whether she is or isn't, she's still a mom of 2 kids, 3 kids, however many kids she has. She's got other shit going on in her life. And she's probably like, I'm not going to have my messenger blowing up by a bunch of people from social media trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't do. Like Chelsea said, it'll be taken care of by the right people, but people will just get all up in her inbox and just do whatever the hell they want to do. I could see deleting that if that was the case. Like, I'd be like, I don't want to deal with this shit. Like, this is too much. She's not the only one, though. I mean, I think it's not uncommon. That's why I know a friend of mine who did work in a prison, and she follows true crime. Not the true crime that she's the psychologist of, but, well, you know what I mean. I don't even know. Maybe we'll see McLeland like take it back, like he did with the ex parte. He's like, oopsie, I'm gonna get rid of that. Maybe he'll take it back. Maybe he wanted to file the whole motion under seal and couldn't figure out how the hell to do that. I don't know. I don't know why he would have her name out there. We know what happened the last time he did it, and it's bad. Yeah, but we're not the ones that need to go figure that out. That's all I'm saying. It would make a huge difference if she was in any of the discords with any YouTuber, not just them, any YouTuber. Well, inbox needs to be subpoenaed and need answers on how those two YouTubers knew about the confessions. Well, if we go with what we were talking about before, and we have, how many was it? It's like 20 guards, 12 medical staff, whatever it was. There was like, I don't remember the exact count, but I think we came up to like it was 30 people that they wanted to have testify. Yeah, this was the one that Nick didn't know how to seal. Not all YouTubers were in the doxing and involved in the crime scene photos. Correct. Well, like I said, they'll figure it out from her. If it is her, I'm going to go with the if still until I can tell you 100% that it is. That they'll look at that. They'll know who she's talking to. They need a forensic account all of their biz. I wonder if that's why everyone was pushing the plea argument. All the suicide watching. But here's the thing. Not all things that come out as a leak are even accurate. I mean, like sometimes it's even like third hand. I mean, look at what came out as a leak. Let's go back to the motorcycle. Let's talk about that. How many channels were pushing this narrative about the motorcycle? About that the motorcycle was the motorcycle of Johnny Walker, Kathy's brother who passed away. How many times did we hear that in the months leading up to when I actually went and bought all the damn reports to show that he had a crotch rocket. Richard Allen never had that bike. It was salvaged, and that the motorcycle cover in the garage is made for a Harley. But we heard it over and over and over again. That was supposedly a leak of information. Remember, it was a leak about this motorcycle and this motorcycle cover. But we know it's not Johnny Walker's. Hold on, let me come back up. It's like a broken telephone. Osbrook said somewhere he had gotten in trouble at IU for Twitter comments, so they are around, but they are and should be rules. Well, people like to go and get into people's personal lives, so. It's a horrible choice to make professionally, being in her position, but anyone can read and join whatever group they wish, even if you have a PhD. But with the possibility of testifying, I think that's where shit went wrong. It was like, she's probably, if it's her, she should disclose, like, hey, FYI, I watch a bunch of stuff on YouTube about this. I've been in Facebook groups for years talking about this, reading about this. I'm just catching up on your comments. That's exactly what I said to Mustang Driver. I was like, wait, you don't know how to file things under seal? That's funny. Because the defense didn't either, and everybody said they were dumb. Ugh, the damn motorcycle. Well, we don't know anything about the motorcycle cover yet. We'll see if it comes up in trial, but... Who the hell is screening witnesses for Nick? I don't know. Maybe he just shouldn't be putting them in the damn court filings. And then we wouldn't even be where we are. But then, I mean, maybe it's better that he does put them in there, because then it's, I mean, the defense would know anyway, so they could go, they have their own investigators to be looking at this kind of stuff. But I do find it interesting why people don't want it to be her, but are posting in Facebook groups that it's not her, but with no proof of how it's not her. So that's why I'm like, I will make sure that I prove it one way or the other. So that way it's not even a question anymore. Why is Nick eager to get to out the info? Perhaps she has Rick favorable testimony and he's trying to auto discredit her? That's kind of diabolical. I don't know if he would be able to think that hard. Disinformation campaign. Mullins is screening. Does anybody want to be a Mullen? Anybody want to be a Mullen? Because this is Nick's MO. Have a hearing, put something half out there that sounds shady to feed his base. I was told by the cover was used to make a wreath and 200 cover cut up to make a craft. Well, he didn't have a Harley. The brother didn't have a Harley. So I am still curious on why there was a Harley motorcycle cover. I don't know if he'd be able to think that hard, respectfully. I don't know. I just don't. I mean, that would be a lot of twists and turns. I don't know if he can do that. I'm betting NM thinks he's going to sneak it in without defense objection because they're tied up with his BS evidence dumps. Well, she needs to put a hard line on that again, in my opinion. It's another thing I think she needs to do. She had a hard line on all evidence needed to be turned over by November 1st. Well, then she kicked him off the case, and we had a new trial set with no other hearings, so none of that stuff was actually set in stone. Now there's like this weird lack of communication because Nick doesn't want to talk to the defense off the record, which they never should have been doing it to begin with. So they're not wrong for taking it away. None of them should have been doing it on both sides, because look at what happens. We have Rosie who's now saying, hey, the beginning of October, when I told you we were ready to go to trial in January, I told you we were going to need 15 days. So you did know. You knew back in October. But now you're saying you didn't know because we didn't change it. We didn't tell you before this, but we haven't had any hearings to change anything. It's her job to make sure that the trial runs smoothly. That's her job. That is what she's there for. So she should know what's happening with the trial. It's one of the biggest trials she'll ever handle in her entire career. And I know people get like really mad at like Judge in the Kohberger case because he's such a pushover. He just really is. But I do see him being very protective of Brian Kohberger's rights because he doesn't want to screw anything up where Brian Kohberger could possibly get off. So I at least appreciate that he takes the time to think it through versus like, nope, not hearing nothing, could give two shits. He is fair, but he's just kind of a pushover. He's like the epitome of Bob's family hug. That's how I feel about it. He loves a good family hug. He's like, you guys are both great attorneys. Just get along. Tell him no. Put your phone on ignore. She won't hold a defense hearing to save her own ass. No. Well, shit, this hearing had a lot to do with the fact that of the motion in limine that Nick filed. If Nick files for something, she'll do it, and then she'll add some of the defense stuff to it, like the contempt. So she's like, okay, we'll schedule your contempt hearing. What do you guys have over there? Oh, you want a motion to dismiss? And all right, fine. We'll just throw it on the end of the day, but we'll just give you like an hour or two. Figure it out. Yeah, whatever time is left, but make it quick because we want to go home. The same one that's pushed all the bullshit. Maybe I missed your earlier comment. She made her recommendations on his treatment and said he was fine. The shrink said he was fine, and he was covering himself in shit at this time. Okay, so do any of you guys remember? And Sleuthy, are you still here? You might remember this. There was there was a filing that it had to do with the safekeeping and when they wanted him transferred. So somebody tell me if you guys remember this. They wanted him transferred, and they were talking about that. Was it when he was tased? My memory's not going to come through on this, so it's going to be all very mumbled, and hopefully you guys are picking up what I'm putting down at somehow. But there was something about that there was was it Baston maybe that said this about a lady, or was it him? That there was a lady, psychologist lady, who was standing there and wouldn't stop them from doing what they were doing. Does anybody know what the hell I'm talking about? Okay, you guys do know what I'm talking about. It was Baston. Okay. Was Baston saying that about Rick Allen, or was he saying that about his own situation? Like, I just have like this vague memory in my brain about it. Yep, Sleuthy's just looking some shit up. Unique name with matching profession, enough for a CCPCA, but agree, leave it to the authorities. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, she's licensed. That person on that account is a licensed psychologist out of that city. So I don't know. I don't know what more do you need, but and it was her name in that letter? Is this her? That's what I'm trying to get to. Is it the same person? I haven't read that for so long. Vague recollection. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, it's in my brain. I can feel it. I'm trying to pull it out. It's Baston's letter. Let me see if I have that handy. First or second one? Like I can just go find out. Oh, you're pulling it up now. Okay, perfect. Do you want to come up here with it, or do you want to just send it to me? Let me see. Actually, I'm probably going to end it soon anyway, if you want to just send it to me. But I want to see this, or even if you just pull it up, you can just tell me if it's the same person, if they name her. Because now I'm like wanting to know if... Hey, Tom, it might seem crazy, but eating your poop is a deep-seated defense mechanism and is common in people with dementia. I have heard that. Somebody who was in prison was like, sometimes they do it to keep the other men away. And I was like, ooh, what? I was like, how many other men are around him? I know nobody, nothing. We were talking about that earlier. I'm like, that guy's literally been like he's been a lawyer for like 2 minutes. I think we're going to hear a lot about his mental health. And they're not going for like insanity. They're not going for, they're not trying to have him deemed incompetent to not be able to stand trial. They're not doing any of that. So I just think that there's going to be, I think we're going to hear a lot just about his mental health in general. And that could be good for him or bad for him. I don't know. All right, let me pull this back up real quick. It's just Sleuthy looking some shit up. Here it is. Is it this letter? Let me see. Hi, Robert Baston. Housing unit staff. I had to refuse to appear in the above-mentioned court hearing due to my safety and fear for my life. I was housed in a cell just above Richard M. Allen's cell due to being voiced on how Richard M. Allen was being abused and mistreated by corrupt sergeants and officers and administrative staff and mental health professionals in Westville's restrictive housing unit. I was retaliated against and moved by orders of the warden, John Gallipo, Gary Lewis, and restrictive housing unit manager, Tracy Cornett. I was moved to restrictive housing unit B-Pod. Brandon Williams as officers and inmates in A-Pod. Intelligence Internal recorded interview. 5 days after the interview, Wednesday, May 3rd, at approximately 7 a.m., Sergeant Brandon Williams and his officers, while I was in full restraints and leg shackles in Westville's restrictive housing unit receiving area on security cameras, will show Sergeant Brandon Williams ordering an officer to put my mattress and urine in a cell that I was placed in the night before without a toilet and running water in the cell. Security cameras will show Sergeant Brandon Williams slamming to the floor and violating, breaking my foot and ankle, and then intimidating the nurse not to treat my... Was it a nurse that was there? Okay, not treat my injuries when Sergeant Brandon Williams had an ink pen in the stab vest that he was wearing, stabbed me in the elbow all the way to the bone. I then was placed in a cell 201 in B, and 10:45 same date, Sergeant Brandon Williams gave no verbal command to cuff up at my cell. Dropped the handcuff port. I then had handcuffed and removed from cell out of view of security cameras and taken Brandon Williams, an officer, told me while Officer Quentin Davis violently punched me in the ribs. Mox kneed me in the face. Warden. It is. It is, you guys. It is. Oh, shit. I don't know why my memory just made me think that shit was the same person. Ribs and stomach. While Officer Mr. Motz kneed me in the face while Warden John Gallipo, mental health doctor Monica Walla, and Miss Bourne were watching the beatdown from outside Captain Gary Lewis's office. I did. I went through her old court filings. I did. I looked them up on case text. I was dropping them in the chat, and other people were trying to drop them in the chat, and they were getting flagged. But it is. Julie, he told you that too. Oh, shiznit. Hot diggity damn. Oh, man. They were watching the beatdown from outside of the office. The nurse again was intimidated not to treat my injuries, and I was placed back into cell 201B pod. I was placed on strip cell, and my personal property was taken when I initially maybe received my property back. My legal documents were either destroyed or lost. Some of those recorded dates and time concern how Richard M. Allen was being abused and mistreated by staff and officers. My personal property. I've seen if she's talked about it again. Does he talk? Oh, ouch, man. Ouch. It is. Hot diggity damn. Well, yeah, according to Baston, which we've gone back and forth on, you know, what do you do? What do you do when you have this type of convicted felon? It's such a tough call, and this is the same as when they come to testify, which, oh, that was the other thing that Nick has, is a bunch of inmates, you know, his suicide companion inmates. But, like, how do you, the credibility is always so tough. But now I'm like, how weird is that we have everything that's happened within the last 24 hours after Nick's filing, and then you have her being the same one? I don't know, man. There's something wonky. It's like, you get that feeling like there's something right here. Something right here. You investigate these claims. Yeah, so it's like we just got to keep looking at it, and I know. He has nothing to win. He has nothing to lose. Yeah. And he was obviously afraid, which is why he ends up asking her to not have him go to this hearing. And she doesn't make him go because even though he was actually legally subpoenaed, she made it her own decision to override the subpoena and say that he did not need to be picked up and brought to that hearing in June. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Hold up. Wait a minute. That's so horrible, a mental health professional working with vulnerable people who desperately need this treatment to become positive members of society. These people are supposed to help. Well, this is where I go back and forth on the credibility of the person who's writing it. Like, we have to take it into consideration. You have to. Because did something happen, or because we know so much about Westville now, or we think we know so much more about the shit that has happened in Westville. But then if you go and you look up, you can just Google her, and all of her stuff comes up in case text on how many lawsuits that she's named in based on the treatment of prisoners. And we have her like Westville's bad. Like, this is one of those, this is a tough call, and where do you go with that? But it's definitely something that it's important to not let go of. Right. The credibility of Baston is a question, but the credibility of the inmates that are hearing the false confessions are just fine. That's why I'm like, I disagree with that. I would question them no matter what, because it's tough. I don't know. I don't know that name. Wow. All right then. Well, hot diggity damn. Something else to keep in mind, I guess. All right, let me put this in here real quick. As above, so below. Oh, I know that channel name. I remember that name. All lowercase. I haven't seen that around forever, though. Is that person still around? His horrible charges do not negate his observations of and treatment of inmates. No, but it does, and I shouldn't say it does, it can potentially negate the credibility of his observations. That's the problem with anybody convicted of crimes. That's where, this goes back to how, like Michael Osberg says, once they're convicted, how everything changes. And that's, I think, part of the issue we have with Richard Allen is people they believe he has no credibility because he's arrested and in prison. And he's treated just like a prisoner, or in some people's opinions, worse than a prisoner, even though Gallipo's like, he's treated like a god there compared to everybody else. That's terrible. If we know how he's treated and everybody else is treated worse, then we might go, okay, well, wait a minute. You probably are right here, Baston. I don't know. I know mentally and emotionally, it's not easy to just go, hey, this guy committed these types of crimes, and I'm just going to blanketly believe him. And I know that you feel that. I know you guys feel that way. You have that, like, okay, what, it doesn't mean he's a liar. It doesn't. But I think you have to dig further to try to find the credibility, if you will. Oh, his channel is called War Lion. Oh, I didn't even know that. All right, well, like I said, something to keep in mind. I'll keep digging, and like I said, I'll let you know when I have 100% confirmation. Because if it's not her, I don't want to say it is her. I don't, but I'm just, like I said, I'm 99 at the point of the 99% that I think we're on the right page. But if not, I want to make sure that we all know that too. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I know that Bob is live, so I have it set up to portal you guys straight over to Bob's live, and he is talking Delphi tonight, so I'm curious to see what filings he's talking about, and if he's talking about the hearing, because he didn't get to go to the hearing, and he's been covering Karen Reed every day, so he's got to go back into Delphi mode too. But I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. If we do not get the filings from Baldwin or any new filings for Delphi, I'm gonna do the day 8-9 recap of Karen Reed tomorrow night. If we do get the documents tomorrow, I'll do Delphi tomorrow and the recap of Karen Reed day 8 and 9 over the weekend. So go enjoy the rest of your Thursday. TGIF tomorrow. Yay. I appreciate each of you guys for being here. I know that you guys have 1,000 other places that you could go, and yet some reason, I don't know why, you guys want to hang out here with me. But I love you for it, and I will see you over at Bob's.
Do you dare to follow me down? Head into the unknown. Down the rabbit hole. Where it stops, no one knows. We're going head into the unknown.